Keir Starmer has announced that he'll step down as Prime Minister, with a new Labour leader expected to be in place before Parliament returns in September. Now, before you start furiously typing in the comments, this isn't a politics video. This is a pub and brewery video. Because while social media is busy arguing about Keir Starmer, Andy Burnham, Labour reform and everything in between, Britain's pubs and breweries are facing a very different set of problems. The first thing to understand is that Starmer resigning doesn't actually change anything today. Beer duty hasn't changed. Business rates haven't changed. Energy bills haven't changed. The cost of brewing beer hasn't changed. And the cost of running a pub certainly hasn't changed. If you're a brewery owner waking up this morning, your malt is still expensive. Your hops are still expensive. Your electricity bill is still expensive. And your customers are still watching every penny they spend. The same applies to pubs. Many landlords are facing rising costs from almost every direction. Staff costs, energy costs, food costs, maintenance costs, insurance. The list just keeps getting longer. That's why, despite all the political drama, many people in hospitality are asking a much more practical question. Will the next Prime Minister actually do anything to help? At the moment, nobody knows. Leadership nominations open on the 9th of July, with a new Labour leader expected before Parliament returns after the summer recess. Until then, Starmer remains Prime Minister. One name being heavily discussed is Andy Burnham. Most beer drinkers will know him as the Mayor of Greater Manchester, but he's also a former Cabinet Minister with a long political career behind him. Whether he becomes Prime Minister or not remains to be seen. But here's something interesting. The person pubs and breweries may end up watching most closely might not be the Prime Minister at all. It could be the Chancellor. Because when it comes to beer duty, taxation, business support and the wider economy, the Treasury often has a bigger impact on pubs and breweries than Number 10 itself. That's why many people in hospitality will be paying close attention to who controls the country's finances over the coming months. The reality is that most pubs aren't struggling because of Keir Starmer. Most breweries aren't struggling because of Keir Starmer either. They're struggling because, well, Britain has become an expensive place to do business. Customers have less disposable income these days. Ingredients cost more, energy costs more, staff costs more too. And honestly, every year seems to bring another challenge. So, could a new Prime Minister help? Possibly. Could they reduce costs for businesses? Possibly. Could they support pubs, breweries and hospitality? Possibly. But you know, there's no magic wand waiting in Downing Street. A change of leader doesn't automatically solve the problems facing Britain's beer industry. What it does do is create an opportunity for new ideas, new priorities, and perhaps a fresh look at the pressures facing one of Britain's most important industries. Because pubs aren't just places that sell beer. They're employers, they're community hubs, they're meeting places. And for many villages, towns and cities, they're part of the local identity. The same goes for breweries. Behind every pint is a business employing real people who are trying to survive in an increasingly difficult market. So, while the political world focuses on who gets the keys to Number 10, I'll be watching something slightly different. Will anything actually change for Britain's pubs and breweries? Let me know what you think in the comments. Will a new Prime Minister help Britain's beer industry? Or are the problems much bigger than politics? Hopper out!
Hopper out, motherfuckers!